Good morning, afternoon or evening. Today I have some really useful Mobile Legends tips that help you to rank up. The tips are especially for all solo rank players, but if you play often with friends, I think the tips are still really useful. Let's get started so you can utilize the tips to reach Mythic. So the first tip comes from the first stage in the match, and that's picking the right role and hero. If you match up solo, you're put together with 4 random allies, and the first thing you want to do is analyzing the roles they played in previous matches. This way you get an understanding about which heroes they might pick. I hope I don't have to tell you that for a solo rank player it's important to be able to play each role, so you can adjust or pick accordingly. You want to check them all to see which roles gets played the least often, which might be the role you need to fulfill. If you see a player who played 90% of his recent matches in one role, you can be quite sure he's picking that hero. I highly suggest you don't pick a hero of the same role, even when you choose first. There's a good chance the player might pick his favorite hero anyway, which gives your team a big disadvantage. I'm not a big fan of players who only play one certain hero or role, but just let him pick it. There's a good chance he's actually quite good in fulfilling this role, so make wise use of it. Just make sure you analyze the matches so you can pick the right hero and start the match with a great team composition. By the way, if you have a great tip that helps you a lot in solo rank, please put it in the comment section so we can all learn from it. Then the second tip is to expect what other heroes will do and act accordingly. For this to work, experience with several heroes is important, so you know the abilities of a certain hero. It really helps to know the skills of an enemy or your allies, to know when he's going to make a certain move, so you can act accordingly. If you just started playing this game, it's really hard, since there are currently over 100 different heroes. If you play this game a bit longer, you're getting to understand the mechanics of certain heroes, which help you to predict their moves. Like for example in this situation, I saw Diggy reaching level 4, which means he has his ultimate available. That's why I dared to attack Nathan, even when my HP was lower than his. I knew Diggy could provide me a shield and remove CC effects with his ultimate, which gave me the courage to fight. That's why I encourage you to try some new heroes now and then to get familiar with their abilities. Just use your trial cards to learn new heroes or play a few matches of Brawl, where you are often forced to pick a hero you don't know. It really helps to know the abilities of each hero, so do your homework and start to expect what your allies or enemies will do next. The next tip is one that a lot of people are forgetting. First focus on obtaining golds, then start to make kills. Don't think it's the other way around, because trying to make kills comes with a risk of getting killed, and this is a big setback, especially in early game. The main objective in early game is winning your lane, while obtaining as much gold as possible. Especially the last part isn't clear enough for some players. Taking too much risk on trying to make a kill can lead to getting killed, which makes you unable to farm for tens of seconds. You only get 200 gold for making a kill, which also gets from clearing one minion wave. Just stay safe, focus on less hitting the minions and don't die. Tip number 4 is focusing on winning your lane, and I want to go a bit deeper into this one. I already said that this is your main objective in early game, and there are a few things you need to understand. So you want to get the enemy turret down, while yours is still up, so you can push the lane to create some time to gank at another lane. To win your lane, it helps to hinder the farming of the enemy. During the first wave, I like to try to drive the enemy away from the minions, so he isn't close enough to receive the XP when a minion dies. When he doesn't receive the XP from only one minion during the first wave, he doesn't reach level 2, which gives you a big advantage until the next wave. This way you can play more dominant, and if you keep a difference, you obtain more gold and XP and have therefore a bigger chance of winning your lane. Also try to poke the enemy whenever possible, so at a certain moment he's forced to recall, which gives you time to farm freely and get the turret down. Winning your lane is a big accomplishment for your team, and if your other allies manage to do this too, you have a good chance of winning the match. So tip number 5 helps me a lot during my matches, and this is analyzing the performance of your enemies. By checking the amount of gold they obtained and the level they are, you can make a rough estimate which enemies are easy to kill and which ones can be dangerous in a 1 versus 1 situation. Try to check this often, because the ranking can change quickly. I'm way more confident on fighting against an enemy if he's on the lower side of the ranking compared to when I face an enemy with the most amount of gold. You should know which are the strong and weak heroes, so you can act accordingly. It also helps to know what items the enemies have chosen, so you know what to expect. This way you know you deal a lot less damage to a hero when you're a magic damage based hero if you face an enemy with a lot of magic defense. And I'll try to make a video about the different items soon, so stay tuned if you want to learn about this. Knowledge is everything, so keep track of how your enemies are performing, which helps you big time. Then tip number 6 is to attack the right hero. By using the previous tip, you know which heroes have high defense and should be avoided. You want to have clear which one is the best target for your hero. Some heroes are really strong against a certain hero, so try to analyze which one is the best target for your hero. Especially in a team fight, it's important to target the right hero. If you've seen my previous video about using the best settings, you already know which settings help you to target the right hero. You don't want to attack the hero you aren't effective against, so pay close attention to the perfect target. Then tip number 7 is trying to minimize the gold farming of the enemy. One example we already went over is to drive away the enemy from the minions, but there are more tricks you can use. Letting your minions die against the enemy turrets or minions while no enemies are around makes that gold is lost. An even better trick is to steal the jungle monsters of the enemy. Especially when you're a bit ahead and some of the enemy turrets are already down, you have some great opportunities to take down the enemy jungle monsters. Always focus on the minions first, but then try to take as much of the enemy jungle monsters as possible, so they can obtain less gold and XP from it. This is quite an easy trick, but has a big impact in the difference of gold between the two teams. If you do this well, you can contribute to creating a bigger and bigger gap of gold, so don't let the jungle monsters live. One crucial aspect of the game is the selection of heroes and their respective items, which is where the next tip is about. The right items can make a huge difference in the outcome of the game, and choosing the right ones can be the difference between winning and losing. Firstly, items provide additional stats and abilities to the hero, which can greatly enhance their performance on the battlefield. For example, purchasing the right items can increase a hero's attack damage, ability power, movement speed, or provide additional health and mana. This can help your hero survive longer in fights and deal more damage to enemy heroes. Additionally, choosing the right items can help counter the enemy's team strategy. For example, if the enemy team has a lot of physical damage dealers, purchasing armor items can help reduce the damage taken. If the enemy team has a lot of magic based damage heroes, purchasing magic resistance items can help reduce the damage taken from their abilities. In conclusion, the right items are crucial in Mobile Legends and can greatly impact the outcome of the game. It is important to carefully consider the current situation and the enemy team's composition before purchasing items or choosing a certain build. This can help players make informed decisions that can lead to a better chance of winning the game. Then we have tip number 9. Pushing is an essential tactic in Mobile Legends that involves advancing your minions, towers and heroes into enemy territory to gain ground and ultimately destroy the enemy base. Pushing can give your team a strategic advantage and is a key factor in securing victories. However, pushing at the wrong time can also lead to defeat, so it's important to understand when and why to push. One of the primary reasons to push is to secure turrets. Destroying enemy towers opens up paths to the enemy base, making it easier to advance and potentially securing a win. Another reason to push is to force the enemy team to split up and defend multiple lanes at once. This can create opportunities for your team to ambush enemy heroes and take objectives elsewhere on the map. Pushing can also help your team secure map control, which can make it difficult for the enemy team to make comebacks. It is important to push at the right time, taking into account the strength of your team and the enemy team's composition. Pushing when your team is at a disadvantage, such as when your team is missing key members or when the enemy team has an advantage in numbers, can result in defeat. It is better to wait until your team has the advantage before pushing. Pushing is a key tactic in Mobile Legends that can give your team a strategic advantage. Understanding when and why to push can greatly improve your chance of success in the game. Tip number 10, which is the last one, is about understanding the role of each hero. In Mobile Legends, each hero has a specific role that they excel at, whether it be as a tank, damage dealer or support. Understanding these roles to create a well-balanced lineup is crucial to success in the game. Tanks are heroes that have high durability and can absorb a lot of damage, allowing them to protect their allies and disrupt enemy lines. They are often the front line in a fight, drawing the attention of enemy heroes and allowing their allies to deal damage safely from behind. Damage dealers are heroes that have high damage output, allowing them to quickly eliminate enemy heroes. They often have low durability, so they need to be protected by tanks or play it carefully to avoid dying quickly in fights. Support heroes provide assistance to their allies, whether it be through healing, crowd control or providing buffs and debuffs. They often have low damage output, but their utility is crucial to success in fights. Having a balanced lineup with a mix of tanks, damage dealers and support heroes is key to success in Mobile Legends. Understanding each hero's role and working with your team to draft a lineup that covers all the roles is crucial to success in the game. In addition, it's important to understand that while each hero has a specific role, they can also be played in different ways and sometimes fill multiple roles. For example, some tanks can deal significant damage, while some support heroes can also act as crowd controllers. The key to success is understand each hero's strengths and weaknesses and how they fit into your team strategy. I have an in-depth video about all the different roles, which might be interesting for you if you think you want to learn more about it. The link is in the description. So these were 10 great tips in Mobile Legends to help you rank up fast. Don't forget to leave a comment with tips you use to stay ahead of the enemy. As always, thank you for watching and I'll be seeing you again in the next guide.